Hi, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to look at my top 5 tips on how to get started with data entry for small business owners. It can be so overwhelming to get started if you're new to bookkeeping or simply behind. Your paperwork could be adding up, or you might not feel organized enough to start. Don't let that stop you. These tips will set you up with the confidence you need to get started. Also, these tips assume you're comfortable using an accounting software program. Let's get started. My first tip is to simply start. This might sound too simple and like you might make mistakes, but if it gets you started, it gets you started. Don't worry if your receipts span over more than 1 year, if you need to catch up on more than 1 year. Don't worry if you have credit card receipts, bank slips, vendor receipts, or customer documents. Just start. Enter what you can and put the rest to the side. This will break the ice and take some tension away from the process itself. Once you get some entries done, you can go back and check your work. Take some time to get your receipts organized and any other items you want to complete. It's natural to make mistakes when you're first learning to complete data entry, so don't let the worry of potential mistakes stop you. The next tip is one I personally use all the time, which is to complete the data entry for one statement at a time. For example, gather all of the receipts for your credit card for each month that data entry needs to be completed for, and enter all of the months in one go. That way, you can get a rhythm working and you can go back and forth between statements without losing track of where you are. You'll also feel completely accomplished afterwards. Once you're done your credit card, you can move on to your bank statement. If you go statement by statement, you are guaranteed to enter the majority of your data entry with the confidence of knowing you haven't missed transactions. For any personal cards that you use for business expenses, you can create that as its own statement category. Tip 3 is another strategy I use all the time: entering transactions by transaction type. By entering transactions by type, it's another way to keep the flow going. You can be thorough with entering all of the vendor transactions at once, then the customer transactions and payroll transactions, for example. This will allow you to focus your energy in one area and stay focused. When I'm feeling overwhelmed with the amount of data entry I have to complete, this always eases my stress levels. When I'm entering transactions by transaction type, this is the order I'll enter the transactions in. This list order isn't set in stone. Use it as a guideline for what type of transactions you have in your business and what works for you. Tip 4 is a really important tip. Don't worry about having every single receipt before you start completing your data entry. If locating receipts is a stressful part of bookkeeping for you, enter what you have and let that be a win. It will give you so much momentum for when you need to search for what you don't have. If you're using a statement as a reference guide for your data entry, mark what's missing so you can come back to it later. Finally, for my last tip, it's opposite to tip 4. Find missing receipts as you go. If you're motivated by having the data entry for one statement or 1 month completely done, hunt down those pesky receipts as you go. Then you don't have to return to that month. For all those receipts that you can't find, those transactions still need to be entered. Just make a note of which receipts are missing so that in the future, if you're referring back to your data entry, you don't get confused on why some receipts aren't there. In summary, there's not one right way to start data entry. Use a method that works for your style and gives you peace of mind. And please don't let being perfect stop you. When you're new, you're bound to make errors, and that's okay. They're fixable. The more practice you get with data entry, the easier it will become. I hope these tips will make your data entry feel more approachable. If you're looking for a video on how to organize your receipts before you start your data entry, you can refer to the videos I've linked down below. If you like this video, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. See you in the next one.